As a growing teenager in India, I recall how my grandmother took care of me more than mother. In fact, they were sometimes jealous. Then my grandfather come in the evening. He influenced my life. According to my grandfather, purpose of life, I am supposed to be studying astrology, and that scared my father. I had memories of my Gurukul days where my grandfather and father put me in. The reason I was there, admitted, because my father wanted me to put away palmistry out of my brain. So my father wanted me to be a military officer. My grandfather wanted me to really develop my attitude into studying astrology, palmistry and healing. I continued studying, and 2 times during that time until I did my BA, 2 relationships came which could have easily diverted me away from palmistry. I really don't feel inclined to get married. Please, mom, dad, please leave me alone at this time. And thank God they did not push me. No way. Again, relationship came from a very powerful contact. But I said no. I asked the lady, would you like to help me in palmistry? I didn't open the center yet. I just finished BA. And she said, no, I want you to be the business tycoon for my father. I said, sorry, that's not my intention. No, that's not my desire. 1963, when my training from education finished, I established Palmistry Center in Krishna Nagar, Delhi, and my palmistry zest began. It was really my uncle. I used to joke around that one day we will have an office somewhere in the West where I can really practice palmistry, not for prediction, but for prevention. So we were joking around happily, and one day, paper appeared. The position was for astrologer and palmist. So I applied wherever I will be, as long as I'm doing whatever I'm doing, astropalmistry, that would be good. By now, I had already been married to Chanchala with 2 children, Rekha and Kiro, who would soon join me in Montreal. So when I landed 10th of May 1970, Montreal, and I felt great thrill in my heart. Finally, my life is beginning, what I really envision, only to be very much disappointed when I landed in his restaurant. I asked why we are going to restaurant, and he said, that's where your work will be. What work will be? I said, you applied for astropalmistry, right? So how? So he explained, people will come and eat, and those who eat more, they will have more time, and I will have 2 minutes to 5 minutes to 10 minutes, and I see your practice, you had a good reputation. I chose you after over 600 applicants throughout India. I couldn't do any better, so now it's your time to really do the palmistry. And I almost felt like flat on my face. I said, who will do palmistry? He said, what do you mean? I hired you, so you will do palmistry. I said, do they speak Hindi? What? You don't speak English? I said, my application was in Hindi. Everything was in Hindi. Our communication, my interview you took was Hindi. The gentleman who interviewed me was Hindi. Please, you have to get the audience in Hindi. I talked in Hindi language. And he said, okay, I will make you bartender then. Out of anger and wrath, he said, what is bartender? Then meanwhile his wife came and they said, what's going on? Why you are angry? And then she discovered that I was going to be bartender. Somehow Mother Divine in his wife was kind enough to say, Don't worry, Pierre, don't worry. Pierre, I am going to translate Panditji. Ah, great. Because I always wanted to dream, to learn palmistry. All right, so I was happy. So my experience to do palmistry in Montreal really has gone through challenging phase. You have to admit that. One evening, this lady said, I was almost like kind of smuggled into her car, and she said, you know that Aussie gentleman in the car, he wants to talk to you. He had a church. He asked me to interview him and to really open his church, do the christening for his church. So we went there, had a little ceremony, and then at the end of the time, he said, okay, can you please give me the opinion about this book? A torn down, very old book he gave me, and he said, what is this book? You may be surprised. It's an autobiography of a yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda. I took the book, put it on the table at home when I went, and what happened following morning, I woke up with 104 temperature. I said, wow, this is beautiful. Now I am really, really sick. So the book was sitting there. I said, what a good time. Why not I read the book instead? And for following 3 days, Autobiography of a Yogi became my best friend, my only companion, and I cried probably 50 times reading that book and laughed 50 times. After I finished the book, temperature already gone, surprisingly. I said, wow. And by then I felt I'm not the same person anymore. And naturally, I applied for the fellowship for enrolling as a Kriya. I got it. And since then, I am practicing Kriya from 72 probably until today. There is an interesting episode happened. I heard one day that no one was allowed to practice palmistry and astrology. I came only to practice palmistry. I just said, Mother Divine, you took me here. I have no other choice. I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm not going back to India. Witchcraft law did not affect me, but it did affect, there is an astrologer, Mr. Graval, and police closed his door. He took the city to the court, and after a year and a half or two, he won the case. So astrology won. At that time, palmistry entered at an office finally, and I thought, no, we are going to celebrate this opening. So I asked Ozzy to really give us encouragement. So he came. He gave me a little rolled paper, and he opened, and it was Paramahansaji photo with both hands healing. So that was a clear conviction to me that Paramahansaji is with me, and so is Shri Yukteswar, because he was an astrologer, and I am in good hands, and nobody will touch the center. Then there was another psychologist, and one day I asked, please, could you tell me, Judy, this is wonderful. You bring people, you pay for them, you write. You are really a saintly human being. And she said, no, I have to confess something. I was shocked very first session when I did my reading that how can hands tell you so much? So I sent all these people to you, all these few months, and I am continuing to find excuse to say this is hocus pocus, but I can't. This cannot be. It's not a placebo effect. So I feel like I should help you to establish in this country and give myself break from psychology. And since you predicted me, my job is not a psychology, my job is to be a nun in church. I want to be a nun. You revealed my secret of my heart, and I'm going to join self-realization fellowship. But before I do that, I will help you. And within few months, she joined. And the beautiful angel Kathleen Keogh arrived at that time. When she was leaving the second day, Kathleen arrived that day, and she said, this is a beautiful soul, she will help you, and you better take care of her, and she will bring more souls to you and to the center. Then she brought her beloved brother, Peter Keogh. I asked him actually, just give me 7 months, you will see after that what will happen. I remember that. And by the way, it's 7 months I requested, and today it is 37 years Peter Keogh is with us, and Kathleen Keogh, over 45 years, she is with me. A very sparkling soul, French, really blessed the center because she is taking care of French, teaching now, and her name is Ghislaine, and she showed up. And right after that, Joanne, Peter's wife, a beautiful translator, she said, no, I feel my job is here to translate for you, and I am here. And thank God, after that, many other beautiful souls came. Denise, Jacinth, Remy, Colette, and Steve. Being interested in natural healing, I was very much drawn to Dr. Bhattacharya from Nehati, Bengal. And he invited me to really receive a honorary doctorate from Alternative College of Medicine, Bengal. I requested him that all these people who are with me have taken palmistry seriously, so he was willing to even accept them as alternative college student and giving certificate along with my PhD. That was an interesting thing to take 18 people from here, and it was fun, great deal. And ever since then, we have done quite a work towards promoting astrology, palmistry, yoga, meditation, mantra, magnet therapy, in order to self-empower all those countless thousands of people we have all seen in last literally 50 years, which complete my 50-year cycle, half a century today. Inspiration to travel was actually, in a way, it was a blessing in disguise, because it was 1998, right after my birthday, I heard a phone call, Institute is burning on Victoria in Westmount. I couldn't believe what I am hearing. Anyway, Institute got burned. We were locked out for almost a couple of years, and that was the year, and the publisher wanted us to popularize the book, go to States. While Institute is still in a process of renovation, next 2 years we traveled all over the States. I went to every library available in the States to talk about what these books are all about. Anyway, books were finalized. We went there, we promoted the books, and we had great privileged task to go and meet many more thousands of people in the States. And when we came back from that in 1998, I think it was a pause for a while from the trip, and there was a little advertisement sitting, lake, beautiful place, camp, run by another psychologist and available for sale. It was the worst ice freeze of the century, I was told. And 1998, we came to see this place where we are now. So summing up really my these reflections, and because of the quarantine and this COVID-19, we are very fortunate to be in the country, and we are very happy to be able to continue to serve and give the joy and all our classes on computer as webinar. It is a virtual university, basically, we are dealing with teaching class online. And it has been a great learning experience as well. And this is a new way of learning and growing. So basically by the name Birla College for Astropalmistry Center has been successfully working the community for last over 50 years basically. What is interesting, this COVID is giving us the chance to reflect more. We are so busy being on the outside, but this COVID-19 being self-isolated is giving us a involuntary opportunity to really look at yourself and see what you are doing, what you can do, what you cannot do, how you can manage to be self-competent, confident, without depending on others, including the finances. So it is a very tricky but very challenging and very spiritually rewarding time, in my opinion. So our new style of life, the virtual reality of teaching has absorbed us very well, successfully. So what a joy, what a privilege, what a grand opportunity for us. So personally, I'm very happy, and yet, of course, I hope that COVID-19 disappear from the face of the earth and no more global challenging of any kind, and our lives become normal again. I'm very happy for that. God bless us all.